The idea strikes me also. This is like the first episode of Igloo 2, but better, because everything was fucking better than the first episode of Igloo 2. Hey everybody, welcome back to the Stoneface Reactions. I'm Theta, this is Lessons, and we are back with another episode of Requiem for Vengeance. We of course come with a board this time, so let's take a quick look over there at the board. And the board comes to the board changelog. I appreciate that. Let's take a quick look at the board. Lessons takes off his eyes.
It's still loading on my side. So.
Well, yeah, it takes a while. It's a pretty big board with a lot of images. Of course, we're only focusing on a very small part of it this time. I added a Requiem for Vengeance box to the board. I added Ander Heaton, Joshua Stein, Uri, Solari, Neelan DeLeeson, Kale Savaletta, Reed Gilfie? Chubbs is his name. Oni Kasuga and Johnson. And of course, I marked Chubbs dead, Kale dead, Leeson dead, in that order.
I thought he was a colonel, but I guess he's only a major. It's actually would be great. Anyway, not important. I have no notes.
You have no notes?
No notes on the board. I do have notes.
I feel like this is the situation where you use different terminology. I have no comments to make about the board.
Yes.
Well, you've never been like writing a sentence and you realize you've used the same word like twice and it just feels wrong.
All the
yeah, it just feels wrong to use the same word twice. And you're like,
it feels redundant.
Yeah, let me thesaurus this up real quick. Or in most cases, actually, let me use the correct word. Because I'm using a common vernacular term where we all believe this to be this thing, but this other word specifically means the thing I'm going for. Which happens all the time in our discussions.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, we have notes, and as we discussed before we started recording, I have more. So, before we had started recording last episode, we had noted that our copy of the show had English subtitles twice, with one being listed as SDH. Well, I looked it up. SDH stands for Subtitles for the Deaf and Hard of Hearing. These subtitles assume the end user cannot hear the dialogue and include important non-dialogue information, such as sound effects, music, and speaker identification. In the United States and Canada, SDH traditionally assumes the end user cannot understand the language being spoken, whereas traditional subtitles, also referred to as non-SDH, assume the viewer can hear the audio but doesn't know the spoken language. Well, if you're ever watching a subtitle that's like, has the person's name in front and then the text, or
it basically
music plays, music swells, something like that. That's SDH subtitles versus, standard closed captioning.
Do my first note then. By the way, I did try dark mode on Google Docs, and I know it's very bright in my face right now, but I just didn't like it, so I went back to white mode, regular mode. So it's
more that you look like your least favorite hacker from Macross Plus. In that it's not so much your face is all bright, it's your glasses are literally just like white reflections of the screen you're looking at.
Fucking 90s style.
Well, only sometimes, actually. It's only when you raise your head up a little bit. Because when you look down and when you were joking, it wasn't there.
No. Episode 1, Haunted Force, which is the only episode we have covered so far. I like how the episode marks the date as 11 months after the start of the Revolutionary War. It might be a tad confusing if this is your first time watching Suit Gundam, but it highlights the perspective of the story, that of Sion, and how they view this war. That's my note.
Yeah. I mean, I have no comments there because that's just factually correct. I mean,
the second best kind of correct.
Actually, no, I would argue that it's the worst kind of correct because it's a back and forth. So, if you've clean swept the table I've got nothing left. To our question about if that was the Gundam or not, beyond even the armament being wrong, the start of the episode says that it's November 6th. Mobile Suit Gundam episode 24 takes place on that same day. And this is a bit funny considering the last episode of G-Quux that we just watched. But that's the episode where Amuro fights the Black Tri-Stars, and Matilda and Mash both die. So Amuro is otherwise tied up right now. Just to cover all bases, even though we didn't propose this at all, and why would we have? But Shiro and the 8th are off in a desert during this span of time, waiting to ambush the Obsolus. Hell, since I'm tying everything together, we are 1 to 2 days away from your favorite episode of MS Igloo 2, where Alien sacrifices herself to kill Bettany, thinking that he's a Zeon agent. As well, the Jotunheim is in orbit right now, with Jean-Luc Duval performing tests of the Zimod. All of that is happening in this little time span, so could not be any character that we know. Or the Gundam.
Yeah. For that matter, he is... I mean, we discussed that Amuro doesn't let people get away, but at the same time, these attacks are particularly brutal even for Amuro. Like, this character just starts punching a cockpit, and we see kind of blood as a fist goes out, right? You see sort of viscous liquid.
I don't know. Like, literally a month ago, Amuro was doing exactly that.
Did he punch somebody's cockpit?
Do you not remember when he got so enraged that he was beating the destroyed Zaku? Ah! That was Amuro. Berserker
but this
mode.
Is more.
I said a month ago. That was October Amuro.
Yeah, this doesn't seem berserker. This is deliberate and coldly brutal. Like, no, I'm gonna kill this motherfucker.
Yeah, almost as though somebody was trying to get, I don't know, vengeance or something.
Maybe.
Yeah, literally, I have a whole comment about that. But I think I know where the show is going already.
Second comment. I love how mechanical everything looks. It gives everything a certain weight that is easy to miss in standard animation.
Yeah, no, it has that, what was that game? The best tank game ever. Iron
what? Iron Cross? Iron...
Yeah, I'm kind of waiting for you to help me out.
Process of Iron? That's a World War II.
No, the one where you have the whole panel that you have to get separately.
That was something heavy something, though. I don't remember what it was, but yeah, I know the one you're talking about. The extremely expensive panel.
Yeah,
it wasn't
so
tank, actually, it was
when she gets her arm cut off and the thing into the thing and it falls over and the panel is like flashing red for every little thing. It's like, oh yeah, I like that.
Uh-huh.
Well, it was my favorite. Like, I don't really play the Mech Warrior games, but like it was like Mech Warrior 2 or something. That's the one thing I remember is like, I ran in, destroyed a mech, and I tried to run away, and then my little mech thing, as all the things are like blowing me into the back, is like, oh, lost the arm, oh, the ammo exploded, and then the computer voice telling me every little thing. It's like, oh, blew off my leg, but I still got a jump jet. Come on, keep going.
I think I have those audio files. You can download them separately from in the internet.
Yeah, but if it's not like interactive with the game.
So cool, though.
Apparently, Romania is 6 days away from Odessa on foot, 10 hours by car.
Well, to the Ukrainian border, yeah.
No, to specifically Romania to Odessa.
I mean, Romania is a country. Odessa is
oh, sorry. We know where we are in Odessa. Sorry, in Romania. We know exactly where we are in Romania.
Okay, yeah. You're talking about the city that they take over. Well, the military base they take over.
Cluj-Napoca, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. So, I didn't put a note about this, but they say that they retook this position, which, the first impression is that they're doing an offensive, but I think they're doing a counterattack, right? And then the speech of the major gives like, oh, we're going to expel everybody. And the cap, I do have a note about that specifically, but,
I mean, legitimately, you don't have to tell me about notes that you have. It's your time to read a note. So.
See, that's the note that I'm going to talk about. No, I'm talking about even in English, some of the dialogue is a bit stilted. Facial animation is not as bad as Igloo, but still noticeable in places. I still like it. I'm not saying that I'm not liking what I'm seeing. It's just that I kind of noticed it. I was like, oh, okay, never mind.
Legit, don't spend my time
It,
staring at their mouths.
well,
Not
staring at the
unless
whole
there's going to be
thing,
a
and it
scene
just
later on where someone's like tied up and they put like a grenade in their mouth and like pull the pin. I was like, I was looking at their mouth that time, but literally, I'm looking at either the background scenery or the very bottom portion of the screen where the subtitles are.
oh, but I saw it in English without subtitles, so you know,
I still put the subtitles on even when I have it in English,
I
even
don't.
when it's by myself. Well, because sometimes I can mishear a word, but it's really hard to misread a word, especially when there's no impetus to be doing something else, like reacting or responding to you, right? Which is oftentimes how I get two things wrong at the same time, hearing a thing wrong and reading it wrong. It's because I'm focusing on what's the best comeback to the thing he just said. Well, it's also why sometimes, emotional scenes don't hit the same way. It's not like, oh, I can't cry in front of another dude. It's just like being in front of somebody just makes me feel differently.
Yeah, I get it. You
Uh,
know it.
the place they are attacking is Cluj-Napoca Base. Cluj-Napoca is a city in northwestern Romania and is unofficially the capital of the Transylvania region. Second most populous city in Romania. Well, I mean, remember I was joking about how the fuck do they have any rumors about this place? Well, it's fucking Transylvania. I guess Transylvania rumors go even to Xeon.
Mm.
Despite it being a roundabout, the location we see the fight happening in the beginning of the episode would appear to be Marasti Square.
Oh,
I looked it up on
cool.
Google Maps. I went through the whole fucking city looking for the roundabouts, and there's one main roundabout that all the roads go to, close to the north center edge of the city, and I think that's it. Also, you're gonna have a hard time finding Marasti Square because I actually had to translate that from clearly Romanian, which doesn't look like that in Romanian.
Yeah, no. The one thing I thought was like, well, yeah, I mean, we're supposed to be in Romania, but this kind of looks like abandoned American suburbs or even
No.
British suburbs.
Well, depending on where you're looking at, I'm talking about like literally when they're in the square itself. Like,
Yeah.
and no American suburb is going to have a roundabout, but well, no, actually they've been building a lot more roundabouts these days. We have a ton of them
More
around
like
here now.
British suburbs.
Well,
Well, the houses would be closer
roundabouts
though.
typically start actually in France and then get imported to Britain, and people around here can't fucking understand them, but they're doing them now. But yeah, more so the lion statue in the middle of a roundabout.
Yeah,
Not
that would not be
not
a.
really a
No, but I talk
American
about the
suburb there.
houses.
Well,
It
that's the
wouldn't be
thing.
British.
Actually, when I was looking at the map trying to locate this place, the area around the roundabout in Cluj-Napoca doesn't have the same buildings.
Yeah, no, and the houses would be much closer in a British style.
I will say though,
Suburb.
I was also not able to locate the base that they were trying to take from the Earth Federation guys, but that's only because the area is filled with what I would call C-shaped buildings. So,
Yeah,
so that
I mean,
particular building could have been any of them.
yeah, it could be one of those buildings, and they said, "Oh, let's rename it base," right? Like when you do, I've done it in when I'm doing the Road 20 map. I was like, "Yeah, I'm going to take a real life map and just rename it," and
Yeah,
that's
no,
it.
I'm not talking about like looking for the place with the name. I just like, okay, if they're
Yeah,
here, is there a building that kind of looks like that in Google Maps from that? And it's like, if I just go down the road, like there's a ton of buildings. Like I think that one was a curved C-ish building, but there's a
yeah.
ton of them there that are just like that square sheep C thing going on. So
All right.
could have been just about any building in the area.
My note that I mentioned that I had a note for the speech goes something like this: The captain isn't buying what the major, I wrote colonel, but it's major, is selling. In other words, he's saying, "Ah, we're gonna retake the earth, blah blah," blah. And she's like, "Yeah, no, that's not happening. Even with the help of Sakus, we're still losing." You know. And she kind of sarcastically claps at the end, like, I guess I gotta do this.
I don't know that we have enough knowledge of the character to be able to buy into what her motivations may or may not be right now.
That's what I got
I
from her
understand
body
that she's
language.
having, I understand she's having a different reaction than everybody else does, but I didn't read it the same way you did. My problem is I don't have any real insight to like go against you on this. I just didn't read it the same way. Dude was literally giving his "this is my last mission before I go home" speech before he got turned into a fine red mist.
Death flag. Like, hold this for me. What is this? And this is just some random thought because that's how it felt when I saw it in English. I also get the feeling that the scriptwriter was or is a big BattleTech fan. Half expect the clans to show up in the middle of all this. I don't know why, but it looked like you could take that dialogue and put it like in another planet, with the clan invasion or something like that. It's like, yeah, these are the Wolf Dragoons, or it's a unit of Wolf Dragoons. That's it. Talking about an enemy here and there, whatever, right?
Well, since you're going with random thoughts you had during a thing, I'll go with mine, which is literally my next one too. The opening fight was pretty badass rewatching it and being able to hear it. I almost thought it could use some late 60s, early 70s rock as backup, like most Vietnam movies do. For some reason, I wrote Vietnamese movies. That was not what I meant. Most Vietnam movies do. But then it would code as too American for this. I think maybe if while the Gundams were dropping, they played Crimson Bow and Arrow, the first opening to Attack on Titan, that would have been a fitting badass music drop. They launch out and go, I was going to try and sing it. I don't know why that entered into my head. Instantly, though, the moment my mouth opened, it was like, this is a bad idea. I think we all know the first opening to Attack on Titan. Just imagine that while the Gundams are, not the Gundams, the Zakus are dropping out of the GAW. Because literally, they are the hunters.
Yeah. So, my next note. The Wolf's captain may be a new type. Maybe a new type. She certainly said something a second or so before the bombs went off. That and the headache she seems to feel that later might be indication. By the way, booby-trapping buildings like this was common tactic by the Red Army in World War II. They literally packed the walls with high explosives, often a ton or more, and set the timer for days or even weeks in advance. They usually targeted buildings that attracted command staff, schools, government offices, former army headquarters, etc. Places where there's a significant amount of space for staff and their communication tech. Although in this case, the Sion troops didn't occupy the headquarters, and the bomb served more as a distraction than killing the enemy.
It'd be a hell of a thing, right? Red Army plants a bomb 160 years in the future. Or whatever, we don't know when the UC actually starts, but Chubbs describes the quiet after the battle as being like Sunday morning. Is Xi'an a Christian nation, or is he just using a common phrase?
Could be a common phrase, although I wouldn't be surprised that he himself might be a Christian, right? And he went to Sunday school or something like that.
Legit, never see any iconography or a church. The most iconography I can even think of is Xi'an's statue holding his arms out in crucifixion pose. But even that, it's technically more hands open,
Yeah. It's more Hail the State rather than anything else.
Well, I don't know about that. Going back to your the Soviet thing you're bringing up, you look back to I think of something of the motherland. Soviet statues, aren't that welcoming, really. It's more victory than it is.
Yeah, but it's the idea of a state religion, not a state-sanctioned religion, but rather looking at the state as moral guidance and a psychological and ideological aspect, pseudo-religiously way, rather than having a separate church. I think we know that they talk about God all. People have said, "Oh my God," and so like that. So that is a thing. But we never actually seen a lot of churches.
There's a difference between "Oh my God" and Yahweh. Because God is just a concept, unless you're naming gods. But there is only one particular religion that believes God rested on a very specific day. You know,
Yeah.
that's why I looked it up real early before I even wrote a note. It's like, how many other religions have this whole thing about Sundays? And it's like, well, actually, it's all Christian thing, really. So
Yeah, because it's the Sabbath, the Christian version of the Sabbath, which not even all Christians. Some Christians believe it's actually the Sabbath should be kept on
well,
Saturday.
that's what I'm saying. Though, as a phrase that comes from a place of Christianity. So it's just like, also, for that phrase to be common enough for him to have heard it would imply that it's said a lot in Zeon, like in Side 3, or wherever he's from.
Even
I would assume he's from Side 3, so they're saying that in Side 3.
Even in the state funeral for what's his name, Garen got shot in the back of the head. There was military and state iconography, but not religious iconography. There was no crosses or red or crescents or anything like that. So there were a lot of banners, but nothing indicating there was a Christian.
Oh,
funeral,
you mean Garma?
Right? Garma, yeah.
I was thinking Origin Zeon. I was like, there's no banners in that fucking room. I mean, on the car ride, there was banners on the outside.
Yeah, no. So again, I don't remember if UC even has a single church.
Although technically, we didn't see actually a funeral for Garma. We saw a what do you call it? When you get everyone together before the actual funeral.
Bail? No, it's
anyway, whatever it's called. That's what we saw. It was a state function, but it wasn't the funeral itself. Because unlike when Zeon died, there was no coffin anywhere to be viewed. There wasn't a viewing. It was literally, let's come together and talk about my little brother Garma.
Yeah. Although in Japan and many other places, Russia, they do when they have even a funeral, they do put a picture of the person there. So,
I guess the stupidness of this is that when you said that, I was instantly thinking of Yusuke Urameshi from Yu Yu Hakusho, because the very first episode he gets hit by the car and then sees his own thing. It's them standing in front of a little picture of him with a bunch of candles and flowers. So maybe that's why there was the giant picture of Garma there, which is a giant version of this.
Yeah. And again, also emphasizing, that's also common, giant pictures of, he also had a giant picture of himself in his room. So, yeah.
Closer to death he got, the bigger his picture got.
Mm-hmm. Certainly didn't have a tiny ego, that's for sure. Anyway, my last point then. The use of light and shadow and the fact that we don't hear a word coming from the Gundam makes this a terrifying encounter. In the last battle scene, right? It's always wreathed in flames, shadows. We see the Zaku's better illuminated than the Gundam, even though Gundam has bright colors, whites and reds. It's almost always in shadow, flames around it, etc.
Well, because they're a base. Yeah. They're a base that's illuminated at night. Like, I assume that's why we keep seeing her looking at the fires and everything, because it's that whole, don't light up a cigarette, the sniper will see you. That shit.
Yeah,
versus
I know,
the Federation, which literally comes out of the darkness. Literally, we had a horror story just before that happening to literally illuminate the terrors of the night. Also, Transylvania.
Yeah, but I think using that was very effective and created that, because you could have like Tank go and do a spotlight on the Gundam and show him bright light or something like that, right?
Yeah, that'd be dumb. We're doing a surprise attack and then presentation. I mean, two tanks, flanking on the other side with spotlights up on it to make sure you can see it coming.
It could have been a Zeon tank trying to see what the hell's going on and put a spotlight on it or something, right?
Well, that would be a massive waste of resources. That tank should be firing, not spotlighting. Conceivably, the explosion will be spotlighting. The spotlight of the explosion that you should be firing. If we survive, you're the first one against the wall for wasting our time with a fucking spotlight. Also, what's the first lesson we learn in Die Hard? They aim for the lights.
Those are my notes.
I guess we are always on the trail of one-upping Char or the Black Tri-Stars. Red Wolf Squad took out 3 fleets at the Battle of Loom, as opposed to the 5 battleships Char took out to get his nickname. I suppose they could just be glazing them up, as a fleet in this use is just a grouping of ships without any specific size, versus, say, a squadron or a flotilla, which are terms that generally have a specific number of ships to go with them.
It also could be soldiers exaggerating what they heard, right? You know, the story starts, oh, they destroy a couple of ships, then it becomes a flotilla. Then by the time they get to this point, we're like, oh, they save our lives. Like, oh, they destroyed entire fleets. And they didn't say anything about it. Like, they just kept quiet. Like, you want to say what they want to say? We're not going to tell you otherwise, right?
So, I have a note about what I think the story of the show is.
Oh.
Do you know what the story of the show is before we get into this?
No.
Okay. I mean, sometimes you get spoiled, sometimes you spoil yourself. I don't know. Do you want to make a guess before I throw mine out?
That Requiem for Vengeance is the captain getting vengeance for the destruction of her team.
I mean, it could be. I doubt it. All right. Well, that's your guess. You don't want to make any other guesses before I go?
Or whoever is driving the Gundam is out for vengeance for what, maybe Operation British or something, and targeting specifically and killing as many.
Are they like just focusing on the word vengeance now? It's like, which target can I aim this word at?
I mean, Requiem for Vengeance is the end of vengeance, I suppose.
Well, here's my thing. So obviously, this is a start at the end story. I'd suspect that the subversion is going to be that whoever is in the other Gundam is said vengeance of the title. So I feel like if I'm right, we're going to start this episode not with the Gundam ominously looking down on the giant gash in her zaku.
No, with the sword ready to strike, yeah.
Yeah, we're going to go back before everything else to see where all these characters came from. I feel like we were just introduced to these characters just before they died, to then go back and see what they did to have this happen to them.
Oh.
Well, you know, not for nothing, but I didn't put this in my note, but obviously the whole watch as a motif in the opening of the show, that it focuses on literally every fucking time. I would say time travel. But, you know, well, technically, narrative time travel. My last note is Solari in the Japanese cut is also voiced by the same voice actor as Kigali from Gundam Seed Freedom, which is a different voice actor than who plays Kigali in both seasons of the show. Apparently, Kigali's voice actor got replaced. Or there's a whole rumor mill about why that voice actor didn't come back for the movie. I think some of it is sexual harassment related.
Oh.
The rumors. I of course have no idea. Did not investigate. I'm literally spewing back the first Reddit post that I saw about it. But I did not investigate further. I just my note is mainly about the fact that Kigali from the movie is
a different voice.
Is this voice actor? No, it's a different voice. That's not my point. Just added that on.
The same voice actress, yes.
Yeah, that would why would I bring that up here? I'm bringing it up here. I mean, I didn't add them all because it doesn't matter to you. You didn't watch Witch from Mercury, but a number of the cast here are also from Witch from Mercury, like Laudna Jeturk, which was Ghoul's brother in Witch from Mercury, is also, I can't remember which one it was now. One of these guys voices him. The commentator from the prologue is also one of these people. And one of these, somebody else here also played somebody in the Witch from Mercury prologue.
We're talking about Japanese, or we're talking about English?
No, Japanese. Well, we watched the first episode in Japanese.
Yeah. Okay. No, but when you said that, I was
Kaniji.
Oh yeah,
sorry,
I noticed.
Kaniji.
I know. I noticed that. In the Sea Destiny movie, her voice was a little deeper. And I thought, oh, well, she's playing an older character, so that's why the voice is deeper. But it was different enough that I noticed. I just didn't click with me. I just rationalized it away. It's like, oh, well, of course, she's playing an older character, so maybe even though she's a woman, her voice will still be a little deeper. That's not unusual. And then you said that, and I was like, oh, that's expensive.
I don't typically look into these things. So I used to when I felt like I had more time, I guess, because I also wanted to make a Hall of Fame board for people, voice actors that had been in a bunch of shows that we've watched here on the channel, but never got around to do it. And also, what would I do with it? Can't make a recording specifically about the voice actors.
Any more notes?
No, I said that was my last one.
Okay, well, we're done with notes then.
All right, well, let's go ahead and hop on into it.
But before we get started,
Make sure that you hit the like button.
Hit that subscribe button.
Comment down below to feed that algorithm.
on top of all that, if you want to watch more shows like this,
Unfiltered.
Uncensored.
And uncut.
as well as some early access stuff,
You can check it out over on the Patreon.
It's just $5 a month, but hey, no pressure.
There's zero pressure in order to do that. It's just a little bit of extra support, and it would be greatly appreciated.
Netflix series.
Principality of
Principality
Xi'an.
of Xi'an.
Well, maybe I was wrong. We didn't start in the past. To be fair, though, actually, this is the last thing that happened.
Yeah.
So if she gets killed here and we go back in time, that's still technically what I said.
Yeah.
Or not. I feel like if this was 8th MS team, she would have been cooked to death.
Yeah. By the proximity of the... Oh, this is going to blow. Oh, he got cooked to death.
LaShawn.
I had marked Lisan as dead. I'm pretty sure he died. Wasn't he the one that got punched in to his cockpit?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I heard an audible squelch.
Are you going to go after the Gundam with a handgun? I don't think so.
That's what badasses do.
Oh, stupid.
No, badasses.
It's stupid.
What, are you gonna shoot yourself in the head? You might as well do something.
Yeah.
Also, you're a soldier on the goddamn battlefield. Do your job.
That was a major, right?
I don't think so.
I don't think you're going to find a lot of him after that punch.
I mean, it could be possible that the
Lieutenant LaShawn!
Zaku is operational.
Oh, he's a...
Live? Surprising.
I don't think that was Lasan who got punched in the...
hands up now. Move and I will fire.
Yeah, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they survive this and go to prison and then break out and kill them or something. I literally thought I was onto something with the whole watch motif thing. And, you know, the fact that a fucking Gundam came out of nowhere. Yeah. That maybe it was tracking them, that it was the hunter.
Yeah. Oh, this seems to be in space, so
Well, I mean,
maybe the
anything we
moon.
see doesn't actually have to happen.
True enough.
Like, I
But
don't know.
everything else that we've seen is what it's already has happened. So
Well, not everything else we've seen. Most of what we've seen, I would
Yeah.
imagine, hasn't happened yet.
no, this is from them jumping from the
No, not
plane and
this.
everything else.
No. That was at the beginning of the opening.
Yeah.
And again, also this part, where if you actually think about the positions of the characters, it would imply that the Gundam was like lifting itself up off the ground like a mermaid for the cockpit to be that close to the ground.
Broken.
I have a soldier trapped down there.
Last chance! Step down from the mobile suit now!
Who is this? Or was that one of the Zaku tanks?
Wait!
Alright.
I'm a UMRC, a doctor! If someone is trapped, I can help!
The hatch won't budge.
Try this!
UMNRC.
Help this guy I knew back at Black Mesa. Yeah, who the fuck was that guy? Was a
There were
random
more
other
than-
Zaku?
there-
No, it was the only squad that we saw on there. There was only 4 Zakus.
No, but two. There were about 8 Zakus that originally dropped.
Thank the doctor.
Yes.
Here.
Stop arguing with me. I'm not even talking to you.
Wash off your face.
I guess they're a neutral medic, I guess?
Let's go.
Yes, Cap.
No.
Yes.
He's literally on the board. He's with them. He's Zeon.
Yeah, but what does that UMRC mean, though?
Probably just identifies what division he's with.
No problem.
I mean, unless he was just traveling with them anyway as a neutral guy. It was really weird.
Wasp 3! Stick with me! Bring the rain! Got him!
You might as well
No,
be
he
fighting.
didn't.
We'll be fighting fucking Godzilla for all how this is working
Yeah.
out.
Apparently, yeah.
This battle is lost. We have to get out of here. It's not safe for you here, Doctor.
I don't know how much more I can do on my own anyway.
Let's get you out of here.
Captain, what about Kale? Damn!
Come on, we'll help who we can.
I mean, to be fair, we don't even have to talk about Chubbs. He like beam rifled right through the cockpit.
Yeah. He's shell shocked.
Can you move?
Yes, ma'am.
We'll go back to the base and find transport. Hang on until then.
Captain, my unit's regrouping in a parking lot to the south. Do they have any wheels? Don't know.
It's a parking lot.
Well,
Worth a shot.
it's that way.
I would
Through the
love
fire.
it. I would love it if like 4 episodes from now he starts going by the name Top. 8th MS team.
Oh.
Take cover! Hostiles, 11 o'clock.
Yeah, that was a badass shot.
Her new type of power is bullet time.
Yeah.
No!
It was a shame they even knew you were coming. You said now really loudly.
Let's keep moving before more reinforcements come.
Yeah, also labeled with the same thing that the medic has.
No.
Again, it doesn't make sense to me what you were saying, the neutrality thing, because if you're embedded with the army, you're with them.
Save your bullets for the Federation. I'm Solari, Red Wolves, First Mobile Suit Company.
Apologies, Captain. Can't be too careful. Stand down. I'm Second Lieutenant Haley Arhan, 1st Armored Infantry.
Where's your CO?
Oh, I didn't recognize the Xeon tattoo under her eye.
Head wounds.
I see.
I'll check on him.
Thanks. We'll make room for him, Captain.
It's a lot of bodies.
I thought this was going to be a local group of rebels or something.
We're awaiting orders.
All right then, you need to get this truck and these wounded soldiers out of here.
Permission to speak candidly, Captain? I'm worried we'll be an easy target the second we make a move.
He has a point.
Provide cover with that zaku tank. LaShawn, get that one moving. Arhun, gather whoever else you can and get your truck ready to move.
Cap, in case you hadn't noticed, one of those tanks isn't exactly in great condition.
Well, you're a pilot. Figure it out.
I mean,
Bravo.
as much as that was like blasted off the side of it, I don't think it could do anything.
When you see the signal, you need to get this truck the hell out of here. Once you're clear of the area, head straight to the brigade HQ. Understood?
What kind of signal?
When that fuel truck blows up.
Yeah, it's always an explosion.
I see.
Now I need a volunteer who's crazy enough to drive this across the battlefield with me.
I'll do it, Captain.
Excellent, Lieutenant. Everyone else get moving.
So I'm just like infatuated with these tattoos.
What's your name?
Ender Heaton, ma'am. Second Lieutenant Heaton.
Good
You
luck,
might
Lieutenant.
remember me from the beginning of the first episode.
Yeah.
Good
I was in the tank. Not so much infatuated with that background fight that was happening.
Yeah, that was kind of
Ineffectual.
Yeah. Which is weird considering how good the fight was in the first episode.
Maybe we should have been focusing on that Zaku pilot. He seems to be doing a pretty damn good job of holding the Gundam at bay.
Sorry, buddy.
Yeah. That's what you do.
I mean, still seem to be in one piece. It's not like he was like tomato souped all over the inside of the Zaku or the Zaku tank.
Breathe! Don't shoot! Don't shoot! UMRC! Down on your knees.
Yeah, this doesn't make sense to me.
Why did you shoot them? They could have surrendered.
We don't have the luxury of waiting for an enemy to shoot first, Doctor.
I've got to check on them.
Do whatever you want. But when I see that signal, this truck's moving out with or without you.
Because, I mean, if he is neutral, then it'd be fine if he gets left behind. One, he could just merge in with the Federation guys, or two,
Testing comms.
there's literally USMRC, whatever the fuck it was, trucks and supplies around here.
Gearbox is busted. Ooh, not moving. I can drive in reverse. And shoot, sort of.
Copy, Bravo. I'll be the bait. Lieutenant Heaton, stay behind me.
Roger. Hope this works.
Yeah, that fight in the back is just designed to keep the Gundam occupied, right? Doesn't make a lot of sense
otherwise
considering...
it'd be like, why isn't it anywhere else? Well, then again, I don't think the Gundam would be occupied trying to find these people, you know, until they start moving, which was the other woman's point.
Yeah.
This is Alpha. I'm in position.
Because again, think about how easy it took out everybody else. So now this guy...
Yeah. It's giving him trouble, yeah. Oh, how convenient.
Target locked.
Oh, there's fighting more than
You
one, I
sure you can
guess.
Get out of there in time.
You
Yeah,
worry
it was
about
fighting
getting
4
stuck.
at one
I'll worry
time.
about getting away.
Last time we saw it,
Go. Get back to Bravo now.
and it had no problem. And these are the guys that took out 3 fleets.
Right on the mark.
Cap, hurry up! Come on!
Rashawn, no!
Ah!
Move! Let's roll!
The idea strikes me also. This is like the first episode of Igloo 2. but better, because everything was fucking better than the first episode of Igloo 2.
How the hell did it survive that?
Go! Go!
You know, they did show us one of those, like, hovercraft bikes from earlier.
Yeah.
Now, if only they had some, like, plastic explosive.
Yeah.
You know, for as much as I keep saying that is the worst episode of Gundam ever, I do keep bringing it up all the time. That was what, Time Be Still? Yeah, I think that was the name of the episode.
Time we still, yeah.
You still not talking to me, Doc?
You didn't have to kill them.
This is war, Doc. Sus or them.
Yeah. Spoken like a true soldier.
I did it because I had to, not because I wanted to.
But ideologically, I did want to, though.
Yeah.
They are assholes, and they've killed everybody I know. So, in turn, I kill everybody that they know. It's war, Doc.
Dumb cows better get out of the way.
Well, I gotta eat something for dinner.
Ground beef. One way or the
You're
other.
doing fine, Lieutenant. Even the cows are impressed.
Funny, Captain.
How long have you both served together, man?
Oh, you mean how long have I been babysitting LaShawn here?
Ever since Cap traded in her violin, that's for sure.
Yeah, it's been quite a while.
Play? No way.
Cap was a really famous violinist before she got called up.
Not so famous that you actually know her, though.
Everything.
Yeah.
You're a musician. I've got to hear you play one day, Captain.
One day,
If I survive.
if there's a chance.
I mean, it is November.
Right now, eyes up front.
Yeah.
Her odds are pretty high.
Yes, ma'am.
She's on Earth, too.
Probably become a prisoner of war eventually.
Which means that most people we know that die in the next month or so are in space.
Get off Earth. Yeah, they're not very welcome. Oh, that also means there might be gorillas around here.
Why are we slowing down? Darren's, what's going on up there?
There's an EFF roadblock up ahead, 500 meters.
Great.
What do we do now?
Well, we can't turn back, that's for sure. No going around either.
So why can't we turn
So
back?
We have no choice.
Because that's where they escaped from. They
Yeah,
took over the base. There were more tanks and
no,
stuff.
no.
What about the wounded?
Turning back doesn't mean go back to where we came from. It means, you know, back up, find another way.
All vehicles were busting through.
Also,
this
they have
roadblock.
wounded there, so
If you go down a one-way road, and because you didn't know it was a one-way road, if you turn back, you're not going back home. You're just going to find another road.
yeah, that was dumb.
No,
Charging
more
with
distraction.
LaShawn, we need to give our allies some cover.
On it.
yeah, you're facing tanks.
Yeah, but they have nothing. That's the point. How much can we do with nothing?
No way! Another 61
Oh.
on your 6!
Run! Run!
Remember, Bayberry in this exact same situation
Looks like
just
it.
fucking blew himself
Get
up.
into a vehicle and get me
Yeah.
a damage report.
Oh, I've never seen driving like that, Lieutenant.
You can say that again. We'd better get going. Lieutenant, check the zaku system.
Captain?
Gundam on his way?
Everyone out! No!
Or is it just a general spider sense?
Yeah.
Oh, that was Beam.
Got the beam rifle recharged.
But then I'm just still left with the same questions, like where the Easy 8s come from. Where's this thing from?
It followed us. We gotta move.
Yeah, it was German above her eye.
We made it! We gotta run!
There's no running from this.
Sorry, I didn't know what the runtime was. For half a second, I thought, is every
Oh,
episode
goose.
going to end with them just putting her into a deadly position?
Convoy, move! Get going!
Just in time! Oh! Get in!
Hassan, watch out!
He really wants to kill them.
That'd just be incidental.
Also, that head is not standard for.
Captain! We're not going with the truck!
We'll help the rover first!
You're just gonna leave them behind?
The most effective units are the ones always off screen.
Huh? Yeah, this feels more like a Godzilla movie than anything else, right? That. Whoever this guy is, he's good. But we knew that already.
We gotta put some beam deflection on the cockpits.
Yeah, but this is not Destiny. No shield technology yet.
I didn't really have to dodge.
Glad to see you
At no
again.
point has this chain gun system ever worked on anything.
Oh, this is supposed to be a heavier gun, though.
Doesn't matter.
Keep going! Don't stop! Damn it! Even the goofs!
I mean, for some reason, Goofs used to be really good against the Gundam. I know this isn't the Gundam. Am I supposed to be like reading
Okay.
emotion in those eyes?
Maybe.
No, it's got like two different eye modes. Normal
Yeah,
eye
you're
mode
right.
and then extended eye mode where the like three other sections underneath the eye light up. So like when it was looking at her before, it was normal eye. When it was looking at her escape, all the other eye sections lit up.
Could be extra cameras, I suppose. But doesn't make sense to have them around the very same eye unless they do other functions like infrared or something like that.
I'm not reading into that part. I'm not asking the technical aspect parts. I'm talking about emotionality of an inhuman face.
True enough.
Am I supposed to be seeing something in that? What's being indicated to me by zooming in on the Gundam's face? Am I just supposed to think it's cool? If I'm supposed to think it's cool, fine, cool. But if I'm supposed to be getting something more out of it,
The question is now, why did he seemed to be keen on killing them before, but now he just let them go? I guess he
I
wants
don't-
to
we don't-
leave.
why do you think he was keen on killing them before? Other than the battle, I mean.
I mean, he did follow them.
Did he follow
it seemed
them,
that he was.
or did he not just respond to an attack in progress?
True, that's also might be a thing.
Well, I mean, that's the first thing that she looks at, is the element of there's a battlefield, there's smoking tanks and whatnot. Pretty identifying
Yeah.
what the hell's going on. Also, not for nothing, it responded to an area that Zaku's got dropped into, implying that a Xeon attack was already imminent.
Yeah. Good episode. Except for the part where conveniently the Gundam spent like 5-10 minutes fighting this one guy just so that he would not target them, right?
I don't so much have a problem with that. It's just funny to think about.
Yeah.
It's literally the Gundam has to be the main character because getting treated by all the henchmen. But sorry, I had a thought now it just escaped me because I brought up the henchman joke.
But still holding up. Still pretty good.
Well, the problem is that it's not conversational. What happens? It's like cool action war movie shots, which is fine, but we don't get any in between. Like when they're going down the road, it's like, oh, you're still angry with me, blah 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 blah. It's like fine. Their opinions are known though. It's not like she didn't break down into this is why I'm doing this or that, which is more realistic to not break into. Let me tell you everything about myself at any given moment, but it doesn't give us a lot to talk about. Like the medic thing is a bit confusing. Like I'm thinking now, you're probably right. It is probably a neutral thing, but at the same point, if you embed your neutral medics in with the moving army, then they're targets alongside the army because they're only helping
target.
They're only doesn't fucking matter. Doesn't fucking matter. Japanese targeted medics in World War II.
Yeah, that was a war crime.
Yeah, who the fuck cares though? At the end of the day. Yeah, what are you gonna do? Punish us? We're already committing war crimes. We fucking disregard you so much. We don't even care what you think is the worst thing we can do. Also, by the way, this isn't the worst thing we can do. Don't investigate.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying, who the fuck cares in this situation? Your humanitarian nature is working against you.
Well, they didn't kill him outright when he said he identified himself as.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's why I believe you to be right in this situation. Also, more so the fact that there were trucks that were individually marked with that, implying that they were traveling with the army, which is, again, insane to me. Like, the fact that you can have Doctors Without Borders, that's fine. That's fine thing. They go where they're needed. And, of course, helping people after a battlefield situation would be an obvious sign of that. But you tend to stay away from the armies. You don't want to be intimately involved with it. Because once you start helping one side over the other, you're going to be associated with that and you're no longer neutral. So if you're traveling with the military, that means you're helping them to be battle ready instead of recovering from a battle. You're not sending people from the front line back home. You're sending people back to the front line. That's active military aid. That's what I'm saying. It doesn't make sense to me. It seems fucking insane. That doesn't seem neutral.
I also think that the Zeons would have their own medical corps, part of their armed forces, right? That's just basic logistics.
You'd think, but we're also like near the end, so who the hell knows?
Yeah.
I mean, we're not at evacuation yet, but we are probably deep into resupply issues.
Yeah.
You know what I kept saying about 8th MS team and what's his name and his medicine. But yeah, again, that was my major sticking issue when I realized, wait a second, you're probably right, but that makes less sense. Again, I'm no expert in these matters.
No.
But I would have to think at
neither
some
am I.
point...
When I say no, I say neither am I. Not dismissing.
No, I didn't think that was one of your typical dismissive things.
Oh, okay.
Well, when you're being dismissive, you have a tone of voice to it. I talk about with you sometimes. Like, oh, this is how I'm reading. Yeah, sometimes you're, yeah. Like we're in a phone conversation. It's midnight. I said, yo, you hang up first.
Oh, okay.
That's what I'm saying. I feel like I'm in a conversation with an 18-year-old girl on the phone. That's what I mean by dismissive. Like high school drama shit.
Okay.
Yeah, see that.
No, I'm listening to it. Like,
you want an example?
Oh boy. Anyway,
there we go. I literally was waiting for you to say "anyways." That's the second one.
I'm not being dismissive.
Literally, anyways has no purpose other than to be dismissive.
To move along. I'm trying to move along this discussion.
What do you do when you're moving along? You're dismissing the previous topic to move on to the next one.
You know, if you're ever going to put a new name to yourself on YouTube, Quicksand would be a good new name for you.
I do like the sand villain from Spider-Man.
Oh, there you go.
Also played from a character from Wings, to bring it back around to the beginning. The mechanic.
Yes. Goofy mechanic.
That wouldn't work, though. I don't even know why I called Theta, to be honest. Actually, no. Now I remember I came from the Phoenician symbol to the Theta symbol, and I just used English and said Theta. Well, the symbol everyone said, is that the X-Men symbol? It's like, no, technically not. It's the Theta symbol.
Looks like a TIE fighter or a TIE advance. Anyway, yeah. I was going to say something and then I blanked out because that happens in my brain sometimes.
But you had to come up with that biting retort that was quicksand. Used everything on that.
Yeah, all my mental energy went to it. So this was Requiem for Vengeance episode 2. Me still liking it. Still on board.
So you say me still liking it?
Yes.
Sorry, Quagmire. That would be the one to go with.
Yeah.
No one says who says we're stuck in quicksand anymore, other than people actually stuck in quicksand, which isn't that many. It's real easy to get out of quicksand.
You just have to float. It actually is just water.
Yeah, you're buoyant. You're buoyant enough. The thing that creates the quicksand is also your escape from the quicksand. Whereas Quagmire is always used as we're stuck in a quagmire.
Usually like thick mud is a quagmire, which I've been stuck in. And literally, it pulled the boots out of my feet.
I was about to say I've lost shoes to thick mud before.
Yeah.
Well, then again, I used to love playing in a quarry that was nearby.
A lot of slurry there. Slurry in the quarry.
Well, I guess there's no greater show that we have nothing to say here. Like, I was really trying to think of something, but the thing that took us off topic was me talking about the fact that we were trying to think of something to say here, but this is like a war movie scene. You know, like the cool scenes that you get in the war movies, and then we're interspersed with not very much world building. Like, this was the most world building. Well, maybe.
I mean, we got a little bit of the fact that the captain had been
a violinist.
Yeah. And there's a hint that maybe the kid, Lashad, was like a race car driver or something. Oh, you're a great driver, you know. But that's about it. It could be linked to nothing. And I thought he was saying, I used to drive cars or something back in the day, but no.
I don't think that's anything to do with anything. Like,
I mean, transferred over to his...
Well, they didn't mention anything about his backstory, so you're just making stuff up about the race car driver thing. And
I was expecting it, but
I think that stands opposed to what we've been seeing. Again, the element that we're doing like a Saving Private Ryan here. What did you do, Captain? I was a high school teacher or whatever. That she was a violinist. So obviously that means that her past has nothing to do with her present. So the fact that he's good at driving should have nothing to do with where he came from, you know? What did you do? I sold flowers in a shop. Like, you know, something.
Yeah.
Because, you know, the most pressing thing to do in a war movie is to make their previous lives extremely peaceful, to show the dissonance between the two things.
And also, very clearly, she's I think she's a new type, definitely.
I mean, we already established that in episode 1.
Yeah, so...
You just get, like, a random migraine. Like, it'd be a real bitch move if we, like, got to the final end. It's like, oh, yeah, no, actually, I have terminal brain cancer. That's why I keep, like,
yeah. It just coincides with
yeah, happenstance. It really gets put on, like, the pain really kicks in when, like, engines, like, rocket engines are, every time the thing lands in an area. It's like a high-pitched noise only she can hear because of the brain cancer.
Yeah. Also, and this goes back to something I said in the last episode, like, the damage, when she looks around and sees all the burnt out area from the beam rifle, like, no, this is a powerful fucking weapon. It's like just a laser. It just destroyed all of that in one shot.
Literally implied from the first episode of Mobile Suit Gundam. It's a battleship weapon.
Yeah.
Handheld.
But again, I like how they capture that in this animation, right? It gives you that direct, visceral, just like, oh shit, you know, this is pretty fucking powerful, right? Could it be just like another laser shot? Like, okay, so what? You know, they really went out the extra mile to signify that visually.
I mean, it's hard to express how deadly a weapon is that is itself. Sorry, the word I'm trying to think of here is either impaling or piercing. Because again, if it's so powerful that it just punctures through everything, it's hard to express that power then. because it just punctures through everything. Kind of the same way the beam saber does, but the beam saber is always present. So when it punctures through something, it's still there, versus the beam rifle, which is just, I've got a hole in me. How the fuck did that happen?
Well, I mean, you compare that to all the hits that the Zaku took from tanks and were dodging, like, oh, man, that could have been something. And then this guy just one shoots him and like, oh shit, and then sets everything behind the guy on fire.
No,
like,
I'm saying, I mean, to your point there, what I mean to say is that the expression of power tends to be something large and impressive. And in this case, the thing isn't large and impressive. It's one and done and gone, versus the Zaku's taking hits from all this rocketry and guns and everything like that. That looks impressive. The explosions are big, 0 damage done. So not effective, visually impressive, versus, again, the beam rifle, not visually impressive, very effective. Again, technically, the thing that things like this that don't work out in movies, lasers should be invisible, right? So suddenly just having holes appear in silence, it's like, imagine the beam rifle was completely silent and invisible.
Technically, I think a laser that it's powerful enough, you can see a little bit of heat shimmer in the air, but
that's still fucking invisible, especially because the speed that the laser is going to be going.
And you would see in the target, you would see something. You see some burning and maybe a reflection of the laser light.
Well, no, because I mean, if it's hot enough, it can just turn anything to plasma the moment it hits it.
Oh, you see the burning up, so you see the
but it would happen so fast that you might not see it at all.
Depending on the power.
It's my indication that if we're talking about a laser that can shoot through a Zaku, that you might just see like sudden smoke, everything turning to plasma in the air.
Anyway, I guess that was it. Unless we have anything else to add.
I mean, we've added literally everything.
Yeah.
All right, so once again, I have been Theta, this has been Lessons, we've been Stoneface Reactions, and we will catch you next time. Bye-bye.
Hey everybody, thanks for watching another Stoneface Reactions. If you have an idea of another video we could go ahead and watch, go ahead and put it in the comments down below, and we'll add it to the wheel. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and let us know what you thought about this video, what parts you liked. And until then, we'll see you next time. Is this too goofy?